This is its financial history too, where money's past reveals tomorrow's truth. On January 23, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order that the entire crypto world celebrated. Headlines called it pro-Bitcoin. Analysts called it historic. And Twitter? They were screaming bullish! But the people who actually took time to read the document, the people who understand government policy, the people who know how strategic reserves work, they didn't celebrate. Because this order isn't what the media says it is. In fact, it might be the first step toward the largest digital asset confiscation in history, something America has already done before in 1933. Welcome to its financial history too, the real policy. The order declares that digital assets, especially Bitcoin, are now strategic to America's economic security. That single line changes everything. Because once the government labels something strategic, they don't protect it, they control it. The order goes on to say the U.S. government will acquire, hold, and manage digital assets as strategic reserves. This isn't about letting you hold Bitcoin. It's about the government becoming a massive holder. Just like they did with gold, just like they do with oil in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. And when a government starts building reserves, it means only one thing: they plan to own the hidden authority. Section 2 quietly gives the Treasury Department full power to build, acquisition frameworks, hold, and custody Bitcoin, create accounting systems for digital assets, establish official valuation models. In simple words, they're building the institutional plumbing required to hold hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. Nobody builds billion-dollar custody infrastructure to own a symbolic amount. How they'll acquire Bitcoin, this is where the parallels with 1933 begin. The order authorizes acquisition through seizures. They already have over 210,000 BTC from criminal cases. More is coming. Payments of fines, penalties, and settlements in Bitcoin, totally new and extremely powerful. Market operations and strategic purchases, yes, direct buying. But here's the part almost nobody noticed. There is no limit on how much they can acquire, no cap, no boundaries, no maximum reserve number. They can take as much as they want. Why this matters: the 1933 connection. In 1933, Roosevelt issued Executive Order 6102. The language? Shockingly similar. Declared gold essential to national stability, gave Treasury authority to hold gold, built systems for custody, then forced citizens to hand over their gold, revalued it, devalued the dollar, and erased almost 40% of America's debt overnight. The pattern is the same. Declare an asset strategic, grant acquisition authority, build the infrastructure, make acquisition mandatory, revalue and devalue currency. Steps 1 to 3 are already completed in Trump's order. Step 4 is what comes next. Why confiscation? Simple math. The U.S. has $37 trillion in national debt, $1.2 trillion in yearly interest payments, a debt load growing faster than the entire economy. There is no political path to fix this through spending cuts or taxes. Historically, there is only one move that works: devalue the currency using a hard asset revaluation, just like they did with gold. Now imagine the government quietly acquiring 1 million Bitcoin, then declaring its official price at $1 million per coin. Boom! A $1 trillion asset appears on the balance sheet overnight. Debt shrinks in real terms. Dollar collapses. Crisis solved. Same playbook. New asset. The 4-phase timeline: Phase 1 - 2025, legal groundwork and narrative control. This is happening right now. Executive order signed, working groups formed, custody infrastructure in development, media pushing pro-crypto government stories. The trap is being built while everyone celebrates. Phase 2 - 2026, silent accumulation. Treasury buys quietly, Justice Department increases seizures, exchanges face stricter reporting laws. Self-custody becomes harder, tax rules become more aggressive. Slowly, people start selling, government keeps buying. Phase 3 - 2027, crisis plus mandatory sale. A crisis will act as the trigger. Debt ceiling, Treasury sell-off, bank failure. Then the announcement. To protect financial stability, Bitcoin above certain thresholds must be sold to the Treasury at the official price. People with KYC Bitcoin will get letters. Exchanges will auto-liquidate. Penalties will be harsh. Most will comply, and just like 1933, America will become the biggest holder of the asset it confiscated. Phase 4. Revaluation after accumulation. Official Bitcoin price jumps from $80,000. Gives $1 million gold revalued simultaneously. Dollar devalued, debt effectively erased. Wealth transferred from citizens gives government. The playbook is complete. Winners versus losers. Winners government non-compliant early holders. People in friendly jurisdictions, hard asset investors, international holders. Losers anyone who sells at the forced price, cash savers, bond holders. Middle-class employees, retirees, anyone in the dollar system. How to prepare. Simplified. Move Bitcoin to self-custody, reduce future KYC purchases, diversify into international jurisdictions. Own other hard assets. Watch regulatory signals carefully. Decide now what you will do if mandatory sale happens. The people who prepare early win. Everyone else becomes part of the transfer. Final message: Trump's executive order is not pro-crypto innovation. It is a strategic asset framework, the same legal foundation used in 1933. You can ignore the headlines. You can ignore influencers, but you cannot ignore the pattern. The machinery is being built. The timeline has started. And when Phase 3 arrives, your window to act will be gone. If this breakdown opened your eyes, if you now see how governments use positive language to hide future control, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for deep analysis, and turn on notifications because in the next videos, I'll track every single update from the working group, Congress, and Treasury. This story is just beginning. Don't get left behind.